Hey everybody, it's Mike Frieder with On-Call Compliance Solutions, and I'm back with another compliance tip of the week. Today we're talking about DFARS, NIST SP 800-171, and CMMC. What is the difference between Windows 365 virtual workstations and Azure virtual machines, and where does compliance fit into all of this? So hey, if you're a defense contractor who's feeling overwhelmed, tired, and alone, trying to understand all of this DFARS, NIST SP 800-171, and CMMC compliance stuff, I've got great news for you. You found your home here at On-Call Compliance Solutions, where we can help you transform into your company's on-call compliance hero. Let's jump into it, shall we? So we've got a good one for you this week. Tons and tons of questions on this one. So we got several questions on a few of our videos where we were talking about the idea of bringing your entire infrastructure into the Azure government cloud in order to make compliance and security much better and much easier. One of the questions that we are getting a lot of is they say, I have to tell you, it is super confusing. I mean, it makes no sense to me sometimes, but what is the difference between W365 or Windows 365 virtual workstations and Azure government virtual machines? I mean, some of the times when it comes to Microsoft licensing, just getting to the answer can take days of research. It's really quite incredible and quite frustrating. But I think when you understand why Microsoft creates so many solutions, having these two options really actually does make sense. So cool. So let's hit it, right? First off, let's tackle W365 or Windows 365 virtual workstations or virtual machine licenses. Interestingly, these virtual machine licenses are flat rate pricing per month. Okay, you pay one price, you get the machine for the whole month, no questions asked. They are not metered like Azure virtual machines, and they cannot be shared resource like Azure virtual machines, meaning that they are not meant to have multiple people logged into them at the same time. I'll go into some advantages and disadvantages as we go. The primary difference is that Windows 365 virtual machines are licensed on a per user and per account basis through an AOSG Microsoft partner. Those are the guys that sell the Office 365 GCC high licenses. Again, it's a specific AOSG partner product whenever purchasing in quantities below 500. So what that means is that you have to pay annually for them. Ouch. All right, that's ouch number one of W365 is you got to pay annually for the workstation, and that's kind of a tall order of business. So, but it is what it is, but the advantage that is what you're going to pay in terms of the flat rate pricing. You don't have any variance in the price. Another big advantage is that these machines are a user specific, and everything related to the machine is included and taken care of as a fully baked in product. For instance, backups and snapshots are included. You don't have to worry about, any of that stuff, so that's kind of really nice and it's convenient. Also, they can be connected to other pieces of the Azure virtual infrastructure, so there's no worry about connectivity. For many smaller organizations or those organizations with a very small enclave handling CUI, W365 is brilliant. It's really an awesome way to go. So then what is the difference between Windows 365 virtual machines and Azure virtual machines? So, and particularly Azure government virtual machines, obviously, because that's what we're talking about. So Azure virtual machines are very interesting. They are meant to be granularly controlled and infinitely configurable. The way that I look at Azure virtual machines is I look at them as a compute resource. So for example, you can have one computer that has 4 processor cores, say 8 gigs of memory, but then allows multiple people to log into it and use the machine so long as they are not maxing out those resources. The way that you pay for the machine is not flat rate. It is based on meter usage, meaning how many hours is the machine up, how much storage you're using, how much processor you're using, etc. The amount of compute, the amount of reserve processor memory, and the amount of hours the machine is actually on. So Azure virtual machines are very interesting because they can be configured in such a way that they actually will save you money. But again, this is not simple, and in most cases requires an Azure architect and someone who is very expert in the system in order to get this configured exactly right. No worries, On-Call's got several Azure architects on staff, so we got you covered. Without this level of customized configuration, it's actually likely that they will be more expensive to run than a Windows 365 virtual workstation. Again, if you're working with someone like OnCall, we have Azure Virtual Architects, and we can really use a lot of tricks of the trade to get that spend down. Very much worth our fees. Another aspect for consideration is the multi-user capable aspect of these Azure virtual machines. This is a very interesting thought because it means that multiple users would be on a pooled resource that shares storage. This could be a very important factor when considering access control, because we certainly wouldn't want users to be able to log into a resource that contains data they should not have access to. So this has to be considered as part of the architecting of the system and the design process. Again, there's a lot of thought that really needs to go into a virtual infrastructure before it gets stood up to make sure it's going to meet compliance requirements and be nice and stable and scalable. Why then would someone use an Azure virtual machine instead of a Windows 365 machine? There are actually a lot of reasons, but there's one key reason that I think is very interesting, and that is that by its nature, Windows 365 virtual machines are only meant to be used in the Azure Government Cloud, where Azure virtual machines are capable and meant to integrate with on-premise resources and not be quite as air-gapped. There are a plethora of situations where this is very handy, particularly when considering the ability to have compute resources in the Azure government that are usable on-premise. Again, I think it's another scenario where to determine what the best solution is, more information about your specific scenario really needs to be understood, but that's definitely a huge difference. Now, with this in mind, both solutions are very good alternatives for air gapping and logically separating CUI within the Azure government environment, as opposed to having it involved in your current on-premise network. Both solutions allow you to also eliminate the hardware layer and hardware failure, simplify backup, greatly improve restoration capability and disaster recovery capability, and meet compliance requirements so much easier. If you're interested in learning more about which solution is right for you or how virtual machines in the Azure Government Cloud can help your organization meet compliance requirements more easily, I would definitely suggest hitting us up on one of our websites or schedule some free time with one of our consultants who can help. More than ever, as compliance requirements increase, we continue to look more and more at virtual machines and resources in secure clouds like Azure Government as a more cost-effective future way of handling information that needs to be secure. So if your head's not spinning by now, I know mine almost is, but I've got great news for you, because at OnCall, we take defense contractors who have had this DFARS, NIST, CMMC, ITAR, and EAR information security compliance stuff dropped in their laps like a seagull on a sunny day. And we teach you how to level up and be a proper OnCall compliance hero for your company, eliminating gaps, gray areas, and getting this solved, all while showing you how to leverage compliance as your secret weapon to land more defense work with higher profit margins. Now, that's what becoming an OnCall compliance hero can do for you. If you're looking for more information about getting compliant or any of these resources, check out our website, cmmccompliancesecrets.com, or check out the description below for links to get help right now. If you love the content we're putting out here for you, help us out with a big thumbs up on that like button, or even better, smash the subscribe button right now. I know, it's been a little while since I talked about it. Smash the subscribe button. We are definitely almost at the brink of our next level of subscribers, and we're so super excited to get there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're one of our subscribers, love you. Thank you so much for everything you do and all the feedback. Love seeing the comments, love seeing the subscribes. Really helps us out, lets us know we're in the right direction. Until the next compliance tip, my friends, stay safe and secure out there. Hit us in the comments below to let us know what you'd like to know more about when it comes to information security and compliance. I'll see you in the next one.